Today I want to talk about training and recovery. Now, I think we all understand that training is a stressor. It creates stress on our body, in our body, and we need sufficient time to recover from our training so that we can perform well at our next training session. And if you push yourself too hard, your recovery is going to take a lot longer, right? So we know this. I think what a lot of us, including myself at different points in my life, forget is that it's not just our training that affects our recovery, it's actually our total stress load in our life affects our recovery. So if you're going through a lot of stress in your life, your recovery time will be affected. So your training does not exist in a vacuum. Everything else in your life affects your training and how quickly and well you will recover. So let's consider two scenarios. Let's say you train every night and you have a intense training session at your dojo on a Tuesday night. Wednesday night, you're thinking, should I go to my dojo? Scenario one, you had an awesome sleep Tuesday night. You slept really well. You woke up feeling rested. You go to work. You have a really easy day. Everyone's in a good mood. Everyone's getting along. Nothing's going wrong. The sun's shining. You get to go for a walk at lunch. You feel really good. You come home. Your kids are in a good mood. You have lots of cuddles. You make a nice dinner together, have a good nutritious meal, and you feel ready to go for your training. You're probably totally recovered and ready to go. Consider scenario two. So you have your intense training on Tuesday night, and then you have a horrible sleep. You wake up Wednesday feeling like crap. You have a really stressful day at work. Everything's going wrong. Everyone's in a bad mood. There's so many issues coming up. And then maybe at lunch you get, an emergency phone call. There's like your kid has to get stitches, or there's some other family emergency you have to deal with. You come home totally frazzled. You have no time to cook. You're totally stressed out. So you get some takeout, have a crappy meal together. And then you think, okay, should I go to my dojo? Are you going to be totally recovered from that intense training session the night before, plus all of the other stress that has happened in the meantime? Maybe not. So it's not just your recovery from your training sessions. It's also recovery from all of those other factors in your life. And I think we tend to underestimate that. I think about a couple of years ago, I was training a lot and I was feeling really good. So I was at my dojo 5 nights a week training in karate. One of those nights, we also practiced Kobudo as a separate class. 2 of those nights, we also practiced Japanese jiu-jitsu. I was also cross-training at least 5 days a week at home. So strength training, HIIT, that kind of thing, plus daily karate practice at home daily. Once a month, we had an intensive tournament team practice, like a 4.5 hour tournament team practice. And then once every month or two, we were competing in a tournament. So I was doing a lot and I felt really good, apart from maybe 2 or 3 days after each tournament when I should have taken some time off and I never did because I was hardcore and I did have that all or nothing mentality. Apart from those few nights, I felt really good and I could get back to it. No problem. Right now, okay, we haven't competed because of COVID. We've just started contact partner basics and sparring again for the first time in 15 months with this pandemic. So we haven't sparred. We didn't spar for 15 months. So no competitions, no contact sparring. So no tournament team practices, no jiu-jitsu because there's no contact. So I haven't done that. I'm skipping the occasional night at my dojo. My cross training, I'm probably doing half the amount that I used to do. My karate practice at home, I'm doing a lot less. And I often show up at my dojo feeling run down. I just don't have it in me. So my training load is way less intense. The difference between then and now, though, is back then, yeah, I was training a lot, but I wasn't going through a pandemic. I wasn't going through a messy divorce. I wasn't a single mom taking care of my kids full time, navigating a career change. I wasn't also looking at a lot of changes in my role with my mom. My mom has cancer. And yes, she had cancer back then, but now I'm looking at all these, a totally different role as her support. And, things are getting worse and shit's getting real and I have a lot more to deal with. And so I have a lot of stress in my life right now. So is it really any wonder that I show up in my dojo feeling kind of run down, kind of tired? I'm not recovering as quickly. So I'm training way less, but my stress load, my total stress load in my life, including my training stress, is higher. So consider that. If you're feeling run down and not ready to go at the dojo, before you start beating yourself up over feeling like crap and feeling maybe unmotivated, consider all of the stresses in your life. Make little adjustments wherever you can, and you will probably see an increase in your motivation, an increase in your energy level, an increase in your rate of recovery from training. Your training does not exist in a vacuum, so look at all the pieces. That's it for this week. I hope you have an awesome weekend, and subscribe, like, share, and all that good stuff. So I will see you next week.